Welcome to The Lonely Road. We're here to join you on your journey to heal and become a better human. And some days we're all taking those steps. You may know me from my other job, my other podcast. And this is going to be a very different show, as we say all the time. Today, we're going to teach you guys not to use some words like candy and God damn it, the world needs it. But how have you been, KJ? Obviously, we just had a
Hey,
20-minute
Zach. Ah,
decompress.
it's been a week, bro. It's been a week. It's been a week on both sides of our coin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but this episode will be a little bit decompression for both of us, I think. I'm doing okay. Doing all right. If you hear in the background, I have a sick cat. She just had surgery. And we have to
Yeah.
keep her sequestered from the other animals for a little while longer. So that's that. I may need to take a little break. So when I do, keep a look at the tag so you can cut that out.
I
But
can pause it. It works. We're good.
oh, sweet.
I've tested it. Yeah. I tested it on my show. I've tested it on PKA now. I'm like, oh, look, this actually works.
That's awesome. All right, cool.
I'm
I
like,
love
oh,
that.
yeah. But yeah,
Well,
it's been a fucking chaotic week. I'm happy your cat is okay. And that was the least of our worries this week.
yeah, geez, just so much. Like it just life has just been kind of uh, um, a punching bag.
I honestly, after last week, I thought things were going to get better. I legitimately thought they were going to get better, not get worse. I thought they were going to get better.
Yeah. I don't like to see it. I used to see it as getting better and getting worse. And over the last few months, my mind has kind of made a transformation. Instead of better or worse, it's just challenges and new levels that
Yep.
I have to overcome. Like
Yeah.
people are assholes, bro. People are just nasty, downright ridiculous, and it's just like
Well,
figuring out how to do a level is figuring out how to get around life full of assholes.
with my neck surgery, I changed how I saw everything with that stuff anyway. I started seeing it more like, oh, it's just the day is guaranteed. Whatever happens during it is completely up to people, and you can't control people. So be happy and shit regardless.
Right.
There are some days that is so much harder than what it sounds like, but I also understand that it's gonna be okay. And sometimes it's really hard to see that, but I know it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be okay, and I'm glad that you said that because I do know how fired up, you can get, and, when you are fired up, you kinda shoot from both hips, but what I'm happy about is that you're shooting from both hips with some pretty solid people that you can trust in your life prior to shooting at the intended targets. Preferably in Minecraft, of course. So, I mean, it's nice to be able to do that and get the different feedback from the different minds that you do trust in the circle before you
It's
do
just
lash out.
it's so hard.
It
It's
is.
so hard to finally fully decompress and de-trigger yourself, as much as I fucking hate that word.
Yeah.
And then no matter what you do, you're held into a fucking situation that absolutely will fucking destroy you if you fucking step one toe out of line, and
Hmm.
they're allowed to do whatever the fuck they please.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like that. Like uh, uh, I'm just gonna take a real step back right now, and this is going to be an episode about um, true narcissistic abuse, um, and how to what it is, how to figure out if a person is a full blown textbook narcissist that absolutely needs help or just may have traits surrounding narcissism. But honestly, let's just get it out there and say that these words are thrown around like candy, and that's what Zach was talking about earlier. Is we kind of want to stray away from overusing words
Yeah,
because
like with the way the world is now, Everybody's an ist, everybody's a narcissist, an egotist. Oh, you're an asshole because of this or that.
You're
You're a
racist, you're a
racist.
homophobe, you're a
Okay, so let's stop handing these terms out like they're actual from a Pez dispenser and handing everybody a Pez like we used to do in second grade.
Mhm.
That's not how we should look at this. That's not how. Just because somebody is comfortable with having an ego doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. Just because if somebody goes out of their way to, make sure that they have time at home to relax and decompress doesn't mean you're a sociopath. Just because you don't like people doesn't mean you have antisocial personality disorder. But
Right.
all of those things are possible and interwoven in every single part of normal everyday society. And I'm sure there will be episodes where we talk about all those things.
Yep. Yep.
But
Um,
this thing is something that me and KJ both have dealt with in our personal lives. I have a history of 15 years of abuse with this shit. And it's real. And it's hard to see it used so often
yeah. If you don't
because it
recognize it and
devalues it.
learn if you don't recognize it and learn how to, kind of maneuver around it, withdraw from the people that, refuse to take any self-accountability, because that's one of the huge, things with narcissists. So just off the bat, narcissistic abuse is a form of emotional abuse at the hands of people with narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder. It involves manipulation, emotional exploitation, lack of empathy, often occurring in close relationships, romantic partnerships, family members, friends, or coworkers, because you're close. The true textbook narcissist personality disorder wants to be manipulative in close relationships. They want to be able to control them.
And the part of it that a lot of people don't understand or perceive is they are the person that lights up their room. They want your eyes on them unless they don't want your eyes on them. It is all or nothing. And the second they want your attention, they will fucking do everything they possibly can, including hurting themselves,
Hmm.
to get it.
Yeah, because it's that fear of abandonment. That's one of the big things. It's constant criticism. I mean, it's just the fear of abandonment, the manipulation that will happen, um, will create, uh, in themselves, that fear of abandonment, because they don't want you abandoning them. So there's a lot of different techniques that they use in order to keep you, where they feel they want you.
Yeah.
Um,
And this diagnosis, narcissistic personality disorder, overlaps a lot with things like autism, and it overlaps a lot with a lot of the bigger personality disorders that are currently being more and more discovered with things like borderline personality disorder, bipolar 2, because of how their mind works. It is something that they develop because of trauma and problems in their childhood or watching other people do it. And it becomes such a big problem that it engulfs almost their entire life. It changes how every single interaction that they have on a normal everyday basis happens.
yeah,
They're the
absolutely.
addicts. They're the people that want to hide their alcoholism or drug use because I can't do that. But will also not accept the accountability of being an addict. It's scary. It's scary because they don't see the person that is in front of you.
No, no, they don't. It's a trauma. It's a form of abuse, a form of trauma that will significantly alter a person. Um, your mental, your emotional, your physical well-being. Um, because when somebody uses manipulation tactics, to fuck with the way you're thinking. I mean, you trust these people.
You
You
lose
trust
your
these
sense of
people.
truth. You lose your
Yeah.
sense of honesty. You lose
So
the ground that you're supposed to walk on.
where's your compass? Where's the true north now? Because and then they find a way to make it so that you feel like you're the problem,
Yeah.
so that they can then have another true north with
Well,
you.
that's textbook numero uno on the narcissist playbook is gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. If they can't gaslight you and make it so your entire belief system of whatever you just said is a complete out and out lie, and whatever they're telling you is completely the truth. Now they're going to gatekeep what the fuck you just said was the truth. Now there's no way that that could be true because that's not how they perceive it. You must be the abuser. You must be the one that does something wrong. You must be everything that's wrong with this entire situation. Obviously, because I'm perfect. I've
Yeah,
never done anything wrong. And then they gatekeep and girl boss every single thing about it. Oh, you're just an abusive man. Obviously, I'm right here.
right.
And they make it so way everything that is you is wrong. And then you're apologizing not for the things that you do or the things that even you're telling the truth about. You're apologizing for being a man. You're apologizing for being not a good enough husband, not attractive enough. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a good enough beard. I'm not fat enough. I'm not healthy enough. I don't eat enough, whatever. All of it then encompasses a question and an apology.
Yeah, it gets to a level of, well, I mean, let's just back up for 1 second and unwrap a little bit of that. We come from our own perspectives. He's going to come from a perspective of, girl boss. I might come from a perspective of, uh, you know, just boss.
Yeah,
I don't.
that was a joke.
Oh,
I
I
love
know,
women.
and it was great. It was a great joke, but you have to qualify things
Yeah,
with people sometimes. So
absolutely.
just that small qualification. But yeah, um, I I really it's interesting how this narcissistic abuse can change you, like completely change you. The deregulation of your emotions, the self-esteem drop. um, because they have to be right and they're projecting the things that they're very well doing onto you so that you feel bad and feel like the problem,
Yeah.
you know?
Like nobody is going to be perfect in a relationship. And I don't want to think anybody, I don't want to make anybody think that they should.
No,
Relationships are messy and there's so many problems that you'll cause, the other person will cause. There's going to be problems on both sides.
nobody's
The thing
perfect, so
is,
how can that union be perfect?
like when my relationship started, I was 15 fucking years old. Like I was super fucking young. I fucked up in every single way possible. I never physically had any problem with anybody else. But I was told that even, having family members that were female that I didn't fully know was cheating because I talked to somebody at 15. That is gaslighting.
That's
That
crazy.
is gatekeeping family. That is
Well,
gatekeeping circle because you don't want to you want control.
yeah. No, absolutely, and it's instilling that guilt and that shame, because they want to instill that, because they play on that. That's part of the tactic. It's part of that emotional deregulation and the full confusion that they want to instill in you, because they want you to be confused as to what actual reality is and what the reality that they've created is, that they want to continue. That's where the gatekeeping comes in. They have to gatekeep it because that's the reality that they've created. It's not actual reality at all.
Yeah. They could be sitting there sexting with multiple people, setting dates when they're going to meet up, and you catch them and they're like, "Well, I never really did anything. It's not that big of a deal."
No, and then it makes it
Meanwhile, looking
harder
at
to
somebody's ass because you have ADHD is the biggest fucking thing ever, and it's the cause for a divorce.
it makes
And
it
it's just like,
harder.
what are you doing?
Yeah, it makes it harder to discern reality the next time.
Yeah, it's just it's so warping and like almost all encompassing that it makes you genuinely confused on what putting your toes in the sand really is.
Yeah. And then you become so aware and hyper vigilant of every situation that you are just constantly, just expecting the abuse from here, there, and everywhere. And you can't rest. And that's where the fight or flight comes in, because at some point you think that it's no big deal. And then after a while, it's like, that frog boiling in water. If you put the frog in the water while it's, let's say a lobster, because frog doesn't really make sense. But I put a lobster in the water when it's cold, it's going to take, it's not going to know that it's being fucking boiled. But if you put a lobster in the water that's boiling, it's going to fucking scream, right? It's just you're not going to know that it's happening to you, is what I'm saying, and until it all sneaks up on you if you're not vigilant. And I'm not saying be hyper vigilant, because that's a sign of the abuse. Being vigilant, being aware of the people that come into your life, because again, it's one of those cliches, you are who you hang out with. Well, doesn't mean that you're that person, but you will take on some of those, the ways, the mental changes, the ways that the narcissistic people, or the not even if it's narcissist, it could be any kind of people around you. You will take in some of those traits without even realizing it.
And those traits, whether you're talking about narcissism or sociopathy or any big thing like that, where it's like little things that you can pick up, little mannerisms, little ways you speak, all of those things might even be beneficial to you. And that's the part that makes it really fucking confusing on how to look at all of this stuff. Is I wouldn't tell anybody to change anything until they feel like it's actually affecting them.
Yeah.
Because hey, that person might not be looking at you as the person that they're feeding off of. Their job, because they're a CEO at a company, and feeling good at that job might thoroughly be the reason why they have narcissistic traits, because they're a go-getter and they want to absolutely control every little bit, and they're micromanaging, and they must be an asshole to work for, but when they come home everything's taken care of. You probably shouldn't change everything just because somebody said, your mom says, oh, he's a narcissist. No, if you've never had a problem and nobody's harmed you, abused you, or anything like that, I wouldn't tell you to jump,
Yeah.
because it's not you. But
It
if it
doesn't.
affects you and drags you through the dirt, you probably should.
Some personality traits, some personality traits that are type A personality traits can be just because the person is, like Zach said, focused and just has to have things ADHD or ADD, like a certain way. Um,
Mhm. I've had that term thrown at me by my ex so often. Oh, you're a narcissist because you can't sit here and listen to what I'm telling you without coming up with a story that you dealt with the same thing. It's like I'm telling you that I understand where you're coming from.
that's the point. It's not trying to make it about me. It's trying to show you that I relate to the
Yeah.
situation. It 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 it's not anything that an actual true narcissist will be able to understand. Um, you're not trying to make it about you. You're trying to better a situation. And a
Yeah.
lot of people can't have conversations like that, because that means that in some way there's something about themselves that they may have to change. Like, if you don't realize that there's any fucking problems with you, yeah, you're gonna point a finger at everybody else and even make up things that aren't true, just to make sense in your mind of something happening. Like, your partner is sensing this abuse, this confusion that always surrounds conversations with you, and they start to pull away. And they start to realize that when they're pulling away, that everybody around them has been isolated from them. They haven't spoken to this one, that one, and the other one in fucking years. And so now they feel completely alone. And
And that's textbook number 2 of a
exactly.
narcissist is they exclude you from every single person you hold dear if they can't control them.
They find a way to reason it through with you.
My cousin, she's like my sister. She's called me her brother since we were inseparable. You can ask KJ. Kayla is one of the closest people I've ever had in my entire life. If I was not with KJ, I was not with Kayla. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and it was one of those three people. I was always with one of them. My ex ran to my cousin and said, Zach just doesn't want you in his life anymore. He doesn't want you to be around. He doesn't care anymore. She's my oldest daughter's godmother. And the only thing that she was trying to do was isolate me from the people that I held as my best friends, my circle, everything that I could build up and be okay.
Mhm. Yeah, she did the same thing with me in a different way,
Yeah.
but the same way. You know,
Ran to you with a blanket accusation that is a complete out and out lie
Mhm.
and said, Zach did this. I need you to get me money for an apartment. So that way I can get my kids out. Meanwhile, you run away from your kids. Meanwhile, you're doing theft,
No,
manipulating everybody around you.
it's so stressful because the the shit that the mental manipulation, the stress and anxiety, the fear, the constant worrying about what the reactions are going to be, all these things cause the chronic pain and the weakened immune systems and real physical shit. Your cells break down because of all this constant abuse and manipulation of your mind, and you have to learn how to keep north. Doesn't matter what's going on the outside. There could be a fucking tornado. North is still north. People could be screaming at you from the top of their lungs. North is still north. North is still north.
And this is the craziest way to explain this. I remember after my neck surgery, I was put on this medication. It was called gabapentin. And if anybody's taken it or anything else, when you have bad side effects to it, they're even talking about classifying it as a narcotic because of how severe it is. It's for nerve pain and nerve regression and stuff like that. When I took it, it caused me to pass out, like complete black. Anytime I took it, multiple times a day. We had my youngest, and I was told to still take it, 400 milligrams a day, because I'll be better. The same person that told me to keep taking it had multiple surgeries and everything else, and I was left home alone with a baby by myself and was told that I was faking my neck condition that I had an injury for and that I had surgery for, and was told that I could die on the table to make sure that everybody was safe. I was then told I was faking because it wasn't conducive to them being okay. Because I was going on disability and being told that that's what needed to happen. She also was the one who told me to do that. And the same thing with my sister. We lost Joshua. She was one of my first messages, "Hey, I really need you." And my first answer back was, "Where have you been?" Because regardless of what these people do to your life, it's repairable when they're removed.
Yes.
When they get bad, they're cancer.
Yep.
And it keeps spreading and spreading and spreading.
Yep.
Until you handle it.
We as the loved ones, you can't see things the same when you're in it, than when you're on the outside of it. And when you're at 10,000 feet, um, and can't be any higher because you can't, because the feelings that you have won't let you see things any more objectively. But when you're seeing things from the outside, and you see the isolation happening one by one, and you see the problems being created and things that aren't really problems, but things that can be worked through and navigated around. It's called life. Other people have problems too, it's people have to learn and grow, and we do so at different stages or rates in our lives.
Yeah.
It's not anything that's uniform with people, but when you have a narcissistic personality, they just want to pluck those people out of your life so you don't have that support system. And that's another way of the control and the manipulation, and it makes it easier to make your confusion and the
Make your
disorientation.
reality the one that they want you to perceive.
Yes, the constant stream of lies, the constant, and I hate this word. I fucking hate this word, but really, the gaslighting. And they really do use these tactics. They lead to confusion, disorient, disorientation, and it makes it hard to trust others. So when they're isolating you and plucking these people out of your life, they are gatekeeping your mind so that keep filling your mind with the information they want you to have, and they don't allow you to have the information that's out here. They allow you to have 25% of the information, and they cut
And you guys
75.
and you guys have seen it. You guys have seen it in the group chat. Like I will openly say, I don't know who the fuck I can trust.
Yeah,
I'm like sitting here stepping on ground trying to figure out if it's fucking stable and just hoping that everything that everybody is saying is just honest.
yeah.
And it feels surreal. And that's the shitty part is like you don't really know where fucking safe is. Because everything that was safe was the person that was pointing out that everybody else was abusing you and not them. And then they're also just as bad as everybody else was. And now everything feels surreal and confusing because now how do I realize who actually was the problem?
See, in the end, it wasn't them. It was you. You know what I mean? It was not you. In
Yeah.
the end, it wasn't them. It was that person. It was that person who was the problem. And once the narcissist abusee is able to detach themselves enough to see things at even 1,000 feet or 100 feet, um, then it's dangerous for the narcissist because they no longer can gatekeep all the information that you're getting because you're
And
reconnecting.
that's the biggest thing that I point to when I figured everything out was I looked at it and was like, everything's coming from one person. Every question I have is only being answered by one person. Even in a marriage, that's not how things should go.
No.
Like, whether it's your circle, whether it's yourself, whether it's life, like, those answers should be coming from multiple people, from multiple situations, from multiple you shouldn't just be locked up in the house. It shouldn't just be, "Well, I wanna take a nap now, now you have to." It doesn't matter about your mental health, it matters about mine. It doesn't matter what I've dealt with. "Fuck you, go die." Like, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating, like, looking back at everything because it's like every little step is another gaslight.
Really? Because they have to continue on the path that they're on because they can't let down the facade.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you see through it.
To the point where, and I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but fuck you. You.
Me?
No, not you. I love
Oh,
you.
okay. I love you.
No, it was just a deadpan look at the camera. If this fits your fucking foot, wear it, bitch. Um, there was a point after my divorce where we started looking at everything, every fucking little problem that we handled. And she felt like recording that and then gaslighting me on the recording
Oh,
and said, well, You did this, you did that, you did this, so this has to be true. So fuck you. I turn everything that you do into strength because fuck you. You have a blanket accusation towards me saying, yeah, I'm sorry for everything I did to you. Because I am. I'm sorry for every single fucking problem that I personally caused. But you're not going to use that as a blanket accusation to accuse me of doing fucking anything I didn't do.
Yeah.
Give me the recording. I'll release it to thousands and tell you to go fuck yourself. Because fuck you.
Yeah. But you know what the real big fuck you is? The real big fuck you is your recovery journey. Because it took you 15 years to walk through the narcissistic abuse from end to end. At different times, it was a different thing and it was a different portion of the abuse. But now, the biggest fuck you, in my opinion, is that you've labeled the abuse. You've recognized the challenge. You're identifying all the things. And now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. You've ended the relationship. You have moved forward. You're setting clear, defined boundaries. And you have 3 strong, completely different women in your corner that you can trust to avoid that retaliation that she is looking for.
Yep.
Because that retaliation is what will trip the whole situation up.
And this is the exact point I wanted to get to. I was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder for 2 reasons. One of them, my abusive father and cousin, because also, fuck you. Both of you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, where you end up is really hot. But also, because of you, my sense of reality was fucked up to the point where I'm diagnosed with CPTSD, which is something most people never fucking deal with, and I really hope you guys don't. And guess what? I also know that I'm going to be one of the first people to fucking fight through this and fucking heal from it as much as I fucking humanly possibly can.
Yeah, the
Because
support.
you don't get to dictate today, you don't get to dictate tomorrow, you don't get to dictate yesterday. You might have controlled every single fucking thing I did, including what fucking socks and underwear I wore, but you don't get to control me anymore.
No.
And you're not going to shine a light on me like I was the person in control.
Well,
You can say
it's
whatever
gonna
the
happen. It's gonna happen. That's exactly what she's gonna do. She's gonna continue to do it, and that's how she's framing this whole thing. And what you've done is express the emotions. You're rediscovering yourself to a grand degree. You are shoulders squared, the man that you always knew you could be and wanted to be. And you are anticipating that you have anticipated and are walking through the grief of it all. It's distressful.
I'm
It's
grieving a divorce, I'm grieving a child, I'm
you're grieving
grieving
this
a
abuse.
person that I thought that, you were. I'm grieving all the abuse and dealing with all of it in real time because guess what? I can't fucking leave it.
Grieving the time taken away from other loved ones. If there's a layer upon layer upon layers here, and all you can really do is just continue along the path of, yourself and your self-care and your journey through the grief, because really it all boils down to you unwinding the confusion, unwinding the stress and anxiety, unwinding the chronic pain and illness to the cellular level.
You took those things from me. I have people in my texts and in my messages from hey homie messages that told me exactly what you were doing, including up until today, because of the shitty person you fucking are. Because they see the abuse. People that have never fucking met me. It's okay. Take whoever you have. My stepsisters, they didn't fucking matter. Take every single person that fucking believes you. They don't
Yep.
matter. None of it matters.
They
Because
don't.
guess what? I didn't die. And guess what? Thank you for that. You didn't try hard enough. And everything that happens next, you're to blame for. Because you didn't.
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful with
That was the end of the
good with the fine line, what you need to say and not say, and don't let that unravel itself. All you have to do is sit there with your finger on the end of the yarn. Honestly, you honestly don't have to do much else. So watch the acting when the chords are still vibrating. That's the biggest thing.
and
There's
anybody dealing with this stuff, whether you're a man, woman, anything, it's hell,
it is.
regardless of what party you are. And it will make everything feel fucking surreal. It dictates all of your feelings, all of your emotions. They want you to be weak. They want you to be controlled. They want to fucking step on your toes. They will hurt you in every single way, including running you over with a car,
And we'll keep
abusing
you
every
confused.
single person around you.
Yep.
And they don't care. It
Do
will
anything
become
they
a
can.
joke.
Yep. That's crazy. But when somebody sees even one thing, then that is when it starts unraveling. And you, as the narcissist, might have thought, you damn well thought, that she wasn't going to put her foot down, that she wasn't going to see through your horse shit. But she absolutely did. And once she saw it, she couldn't unsee it. And you just kept pushing the fucking pedal on that bullshit. You need to look inward if you want to fix any of this, and you need to get yourself help.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you the first place that this all starts to be fixed. And it's the hardest one to accomplish. You stop giving at all.
Gray rock. They call it gray rock.
Emotional bank account, zero.
Absolutely.
Everything's zero.
No, get
Fucking
overdraft protection too. Don't let it go in that fucking negative either. No. No more withdrawals. I don't care what kind of card you have. No withdrawals if it's zero.
if you can, no contact is the answer. If you can,
If you
getting
can.
the fuck away, moving, change everything, figure out what the fuck real is, because real isn't where you fucking are.
Yeah, because the tentacles will come back once you get all 8 tentacles off of you of that octopus. If you go anywhere near that again, you will have a tentacle on. And unfortunately, if you have children, if it's
This thing,
unfortunate, yeah. Unfortunately, if you have
useless.
children, one tentacle will always be on that person for each child until those children are 18 and can make that differentiation between you and them and
Yep.
the courts.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah, that's the real hard part, because once courts get involved, they don't get uninvolved, and you have to continue to play the game. But the thing is, when one party plays checkers and tells all their moves, and the other one moves in the shadows and plays chess, there really is nothing. It's apples and oranges. It's apples and oranges.
You know, the name of the show is a pun. regardless of if anybody can get it or not. It's not a lonely road. You're not alone. I'm not alone. We're all fucking together on this crazy ass fucking road we call life. But stop allowing the people that are hurting you to stay. Because if they're hurting you and they don't care and they're not changing it, and you know they see it, and you're asking them, how are you changing it? And they're not giving you an answer, leave.
You will be okay. You will
You
be
will be
better
okay.
for it. Damn right.
Listen,
It's a lonely
7
road.
years ago, nobody thought I was going to be better.
7 years ago, I didn't think I was going to be better.
You know what? I got a long ass fucking way to walk.
Yep.
But how about you fucking join me?
Let's go.